go ahead and put that on your calendar. Like I told you when we started the show, we had a great show lined up for you with Garrett Jacobs tonight. Unfortunately, Garrett couldn't make it tonight. So what I figured I would do is take this time just for a few minutes to kind of explain a little bit more in detail exactly what we're doing at Louisiana Country, why we think it's important, and how you guys out there, whether you're watching now or watching later, how you can help us help these artists out. So let's start, I guess, by saying, what is Louisiana Country Music? Louisiana Country Music is it's a community of real world and digital. It's a real world and digital community that connects artists, songwriters, venues, fans, and industry voices like never before. We like to say we're connecting the Bayou to Broadway. And all of you guys, I'm sure everybody out there knows, Broadway is the busiest street in Nashville, one of the busiest streets on the planet. And so we like to say Bayou to the Broadway. We're celebrating the artist of yesterday. We're lifting the artist of today, and we're paving the way for the next generation of Louisiana talent. So we think that it's super important what we're doing here. Why now, you might say? Well, when we started researching this project, we found over 160 number one songs from Louisiana artists. And we've got, now that numbers went up because we've had several more since then, including tonight. We had a couple of writers on a number one. So we're probably close to 170 number ones now, to be honest. But we found over 30 billion streams with a B, over 35 million social media followers, and over 150 original country artists from Louisiana. Pretty amazing. So we figured, why not right now? Now's the time to do it. One of the things that I want our fans to understand is this little slide called Artist Journey. It's kind of self-explanatory, but you could see there, most artist journey is you start in Louisiana. If you're lucky, you move to Nashville. If you get a lot of breaks in Nashville, maybe you go national. If you get even luckier and get more and more breaks, you get to go international, like the Laneys and the Jordans of the world. So we're trying to help this first step. But one of the things we also found out from our own personal experience as writers and artists and hearing other people is that it's harder almost to go from region to region in Louisiana than it is to go from Louisiana to Nashville. And what I mean by that is there are so many talented people throughout Louisiana, but they may be from Lafayette, but if they go to the Monroe area, there's not that much support, unfortunately, and vice versa. I'm just using that for an example. But what we want to do is we want to introduce these artists all over the state. That way you guys know who they are when they come to your town. And I'm going to show you a couple of ways that we're doing this in a minute. But I kind of look at this as building a foundation. Like if you're building a house and you build a solid foundation, you could build any house that you can dream on the foundation if you get that part right. But if you don't get your foundation right, it's really hard to build anything on it. So, and eventually it's going to be harder than it has to be, and it's eventually going to come down. So what we're doing with this region to region movement is trying to build our foundation for our artists before they take that step to Nashville. That way, when they get there, they're more prepared for what's to come whenever they do get there. So, how are some of the ways that we're helping here? We are, like I said, we are building a community of artists. We're building a community like it's never been done before. We're doing this through writers' rounds. We're doing this. So I'll just kind of talk about each one, like writers' rounds, in case you guys aren't familiar with that. That's when we get a lot of artists together and we share different songs with an intimate crowd. We tell stories. We talk about the songs behind the stories behind the songs, and people sit there and they listen, and it's really fun. So we're bringing Louisiana artists together to do those things. Writer retreats is something that we're doing. Writers retreats we just had one back in the summer in Nashville. We're going to have 2 or 3 more this year. But we had 16 people together for like 3 days, and we just get in different rooms and we just start writing as Louisiana artists. So it's really fun and it's really cool. That's another way we're doing it. Live shows. We just had a show at Manship that was a writer's round, but we've had other live shows throughout the year, and we've got more planned. Social functions. We're having social functions a lot in Nashville and some in Louisiana, to where we get all of these artists together. We invite everybody, and we're like, hey, come hang, just get to know these other people. One of the things that we found whenever we first started doing this was there was a Louisiana artist in Nashville that this person had lived in Nashville for 5 years, and this person had lived in Nashville for 10 years. They knew of each other, but they had never met before, or they had never hung out. And then whenever we start bringing people together, they're like, oh, dude, we know some of the same people, blah, blah, blah. Of course, we start talking about Louisiana, because that's what Louisiana people do, right? So now some of those people are writing together. They're putting out music together. They're playing shows together. So we're already seeing the fruits of this. We're also doing workshops. We have a website listing that is really great. I'm sure you guys have been on the site, but if not, here's just a little example of what we're doing. Like I said, you can even search by region for this. So this is really cool. Go find out who's in your regions first, and then start exploring the other regions and see. I guarantee you're going to find artists that you really like, whether you like traditional country or more new country or whatever it might be. There's a lot of different people throughout our state providing all of that for you. The articles, like I talked about earlier, we've got our team is doing a really great job on these articles. You know, the right there, I'm looking at this one that says 2 Louisiana artists making waves. That's talking about the 2 guys who just wrote Blake Shelton's #1. We had one with Benji Davis. A lot of people don't know that he wrote The Painter for Cody Johnson. There's so many things going on that we're trying to keep people up to date on, and share things that maybe they didn't know before. So these articles are a great way to do that. So make sure to check those out too. And then spotlights and live interviews like what you guys are watching right now. We've had some amazing people on here. I think this is like our 30th Tuesday night in a row or something like that. And I mean, I'm looking at Amanda there, and let me see. Let me get my other screen pulled up. I'm looking at CJ there. I'm looking at Kylie. Karen told the best story ever about her first night in Nashville and stumbling into meeting Taylor Swift and wasn't even supposed to be there and all of that. So you hear all these great stories. And then Amanda there, of course. So, so we're doing a lot to help the artists. So we just want to explain to you guys some of the things that we are doing. Another thing that we're doing is helping venues out. We are some of the ways that we're helping our venues. A lot of this overlaps like a Venn diagram too, but some of the ways that we're helping our venues out, we're promoting events that come around the state. We're co-hosting events like our friends over at LSU-A in Alexandria. This is just one example, but they've got this beautiful black box theater. They're doing these sessions of black box sessions at this theater on campus. It's a beautiful theater. They're the nicest people in the world. We went and had a songwriter show with them that we co-hosted with them, and we're going back for 2 or 3 more this year in 2026. We're working on getting some of those in the books right now. So not only are we promoting these venues on their own, we're also co-hosting and just doing things with them. Also, we're connecting venues with artists. You know, there's so many artists in Nashville that want to come back and play more, but they don't necessarily have the contacts. They don't necessarily know the owners of the venue or the people that are booking and stuff like that. So we're working our tail off. As a matter of fact, I'm getting in the car and driving to Monroe on Thursday morning to meet a guy that I've never met before. But I talked to him on the phone today. He's excited to work with us. We're excited to work with him. But that will be one more venue in Louisiana that our artists will have a contact to. So when they do want to come and stay a few days in Louisiana and play some shows, they'll have people to call. They'll have venues to play, or at least have contacts there. So we are calendar of events. This is going to be really cool. We don't have it on the site yet, but we're working on it. But we are working on a really cool calendar of events. So no matter where you're at in the state, you'll be able to click and find just some good old country music wherever you are, no matter what day of the week it is. So stay tuned for that. But that's one more way we're helping. And just to bring more music back to the boot, like I said, a lot of artists want to come back here and play. They just don't know what to do sometimes. And there's a little frustration there. And one of the things that we're doing, we're trying to slowly but surely fix that, bridge that gap, and help with that frustration. And not only is it great for venues, it's great for our economies. I mean, if our people are coming back and playing more and we could get these venues full again, that means the restaurants are full before the shows. It means, clubs are full after, or whatever it might be, hotels, people are driving into town. So it's helping all of these towns' economies, which is helping our state economy. So thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. Thanks for checking out the site. Yeah, we're doing our best, and I'm gonna get into this, but people like Karen who tune in all the time, and so many people who tune in and comment every week. You guys are making a huge difference too, and I'm gonna get to that in just a second. But also, and like I said, I'm cheating off my other screen over here too. Is how can we help? And how can we help fans? We're introducing fans to new artists. Hopefully, you guys are going on the site and searching the site and just saying, "Hey, I'm just going to pick this person and I'm going to listen to this person and see what you think." We're also offering one home for Louisiana Country Music News. We spend hours and hours and hours preparing for this 1 hour show every week. As crazy as that is, we've got 3 or 4 people working together to make sure that we can cover as much as we can. And even our interview portion, we'll spend 2, 3, 4 hours working on the prep so we can give you guys the best interview and the artist the best interview that we can possibly do to make sure that we don't cheat anybody, because we take what we're doing that serious. And other things that we're doing. So in saying that, we've got one home for Louisiana Country Music News. Instead of you having to follow 130, 150 artists, I want you to follow them all, but it's impossible to keep up with that much. So, we do this news every Tuesday night to kind of keep you up with what's going on. We've got our social media that keeps you up with things. We've got a playlist, Louisiana Country Music playlist. We've got the articles, the live events. We've got a newsletter that comes out every Friday morning, which is really cool. You can go to our website to subscribe to the newsletter. And then our socials. Please make sure to follow us everywhere. So that's how we're hopefully connecting fans with these artists. And I'm only going to hold you for another minute. I feel like I'm in school whenever I was teaching. I'm just up here lecturing. But hopefully you guys are understanding the importance of why we want to share what we're doing. I think it's very important for people to know the why behind things. So that's why we said, let's just take this opportunity to show that. Lastly, right here is how can you help? And you guys are already doing a phenomenal job, because our social media, every 28 days, we really didn't even put our social media team together until May of last year. And starting in about October all the way till now, we're averaging between 1 and 2 million views on social media every single month. And we're averaging over 75,000 content interactions on our social media every 28 days. That is actually, that's not even on our social media. That's just Facebook. And that is with 0 ad spend and 0 boost. We haven't spent 1 penny to buy those likes and to buy those shares and to buy those comments. It's all organic. That says something about you guys, and thank you for that. So how can you help? Check out the website, share the website, tell people about it. If you know people love country music, they probably would love to support people right here in our own backyard. So help us get the word out. Follow us on social, stream the playlist, come to a live event. I would love to meet you guys. I know our artists would love to meet you guys. We've got some of the nicest people who are artists in this state. The music business is hit or miss sometimes with how polite and how kind people are. But I can honestly say our artists do a really good job. They truly love the people in Louisiana, and they truly love the state of Louisiana. So come out to these shows. I'm sure 99% of our artists out there would love to meet you guys, and follow them, support them, share your new favorite artists with people. Another way that you can help is just joining us here on Tuesday night. Like I said, some of you guys will tune in for the people that you know and the people that you support and follow, and that's great. We want you to do that. But set your alarms and join us every Tuesday night, because you're going to meet somebody new every Tuesday night that's doing something out there. Whether, like next week, for an example, we have Luke Bryan's longtime bass player, James Cook, will be on the show. That'll be very interesting, because all of us that are watching, all of us that are doing this together, I guess I won't be watching, I'll be talking, but all of us will be having a shared experience with James Cook, hearing about what it's like to be on the road. What's it like to play these arena shows? All of those type things, we get the inside scoop on. So anyway, I want to say thank you guys so much for hanging in there and listening to me kind of explain the why behind that. I want to say thank you to everybody out there, and I mean that from our entire team here at Louisiana Country Music. This project is truly about the artists and the fans. That's the venues and all of that. We all get something out of it, but it's truly about the artists and the fans. So thank you guys. Reach out to us, email us, hit us on socials, interact with this thing. This isn't ours. Louisiana Country Music isn't mine. It's not my team's. This is you guys. This is your project. This is all of ours. So interact with us, and let's just have some fun in 2026. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I hope you enjoyed the news. I hope you got something out of the why behind it. If so, make sure to tune in every Tuesday night here at 7 o'clock to support the artists that we're interviewing. Again, please make sure to follow, like, share, comment. Let's show the world together. Let's show the world exactly what Louisiana Country Music and our artists are all about. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless everybody out there. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you next Tuesday night right here on Louisiana Country Music Live.